Okay, everybody, here we are, live on the air, and I'm happy to say welcome to my channel. This is my very first unboxing video. I guess I could have done others, but I didn't think about it. It hadn't occurred to me, actually, and the weird thing is this, what you're watching now, is a video that I was not going to make about a guitar that I was not going to buy. And, you know, we want to find out today whether or not this is actually a Chibson. And I think that it is. I suspect that it is. But I want to give you some background on the whole thing first before we get to the big moment on this. So, first of all, I want to tell you about the second electric guitar I ever had. Oh, let me go ahead and open this. This is lime seltzer water, and it's my beer. Now, because I'm a sober man, I quit drinking alcohol, I quit smoking cigarettes, I quit getting high, I'm a vegetarian, I quit eating meat, and as of late, I have quit drinking energy drinks. So I'm just very happy to be able to say I face whatever it is that I'm confronted with in life, and I do it from a sober perspective. So for everyone out there who might be engaged in some kind of battle with chemicals, whatever they may be, I'm with you. I'm with you, my friend, and I will pray for you. I'm a Christian man, and I will pray for you. So, enough said, let's crack this. Here's to our sobriety. If you're into that, if you're not, cheers anyway. Have a beer, have a smoke, kick back, and let me tell you the story of this guitar that we're going to unbox. Okay, my second electric guitar. I bought it back in the summer of 1986 in Findlay, Ohio, and I believe this is a Japanese company called Electra, and it was a Les Paul copy. And back then, you know, Jimmy Page was my #1 guitar hero back then, and there was always this sort of nagging sensation about how talented David Gilmour really is, because let's face it, you know, David Gilmour, he can evoke emotion, I think, like no other guitar player can, and he may be the world's most talented guitar player. For the record, my favorite guitar player in life winds up being Robert Trower. That's who I like the best. That's who I've met. I've met Robin a few times, got his autograph, spoke to him briefly, very nice guy, blah, 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 blah. But back then, it was all Jimmy Page, it was Led Zeppelin, it was The Firm, right? He hadn't even yet hooked up with David Coverdale, so this is going back a long time ago. I was 22 years old at the time. Right now, I'm an old geezer. I'm 60 years old. I hit geezerdom this year in 2024. So anyway, I bought this guitar called an Electra Omega, and it was very clearly a Les Paul copy, and I have a picture of it, not of my guitar, but of the guitar that was released, and I'll show that to you now. Okay, so that's what it looked like. And all these years, you know, after that, the internet was developed and it came alive and so forth and everything. And I hadn't seen this guitar, and let me tell you something, I sold it back in the 2000s, and I've been kicking myself ever since. For any of you out there who have sold a guitar and then regretted it, oh dear God in heaven, have I sold some guitars that I regret. And it's all for a variety of different reasons. But in spite of those reasons, I wish I hadn't sold my guitars. I came on hard times. 30 years in New York City, tough times, another story. That's another video, another story. Anyway, I sold this guitar, I've been kicking myself ever since, And I happened to be browsing the internet about a month ago, and I happened upon this particular guitar, and it just reminded me of the Electra Omega. And bear in mind, I didn't have a picture in my head, or a good memory anyway, of exactly what that guitar looked like. And I kept looking at this guitar, and it said there were 7 in stock. And over a 4-day period, I watched it go from 7 down to 6, then down to 5, then down to 4, then down to 3. And every day, I'm on the internet, going back to the same seller and looking at this and thinking, you know, how many of us have been in this situation? I don't need another guitar, right? Okay, I'm not going to buy it on day 1. Okay, on day 2, I'm not going to buy it. On day 3, I'm not going to buy it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I had to get it, man. It just, I knew what would happen. What would happen is what people call buyer's remorse. I had the foresight, right? It was like looking into the future. And I knew that once that got down to sold out, I'm going to say, oh, I should have bought that guitar. And it would have been like all the other guitars that I sold, right? I had it. It was within reach. And then it just disappears, and you can't get it. So I went ahead and got it. Now, a little background. That's why I bought this guitar, is because it reminded me of the Electra Omega, which, by the way, was a pretty good guitar. And there's one out there, but it's like $700 something for the guitar and $300 shipping. That's not going to happen. This guitar right in front of me only cost about $250, and that was before shipping, which I think was only $18. So that was a pretty good deal. Now here's the thing, okay? I'm looking at the ad for this guitar, and you know, it's a Les Paul copy. It's not an actual Gibson, especially not at this price, right? And I'm looking at the pictures, and on the headstock you can see the Les Paul autograph that Les Pauls have, and there's something written on the truss rod cover. Quite frankly, I need new contact lenses. I'm looking at the computer screen, squinting my eyes. I couldn't make out what was on the truss rod cover. But when I'm looking at the computer screen and looking at the headstock, it just looked like it didn't have a logo. It was just all black. That's what it looked like to me. And I'm going through different ads on the same website and seeing other Les Paul copies, and there's this weird shape on the headstock, and it's usually gold, and it had the word on it, Vicers, V-I-C-E-R-S, or as I heard one other YouTuber call it, Vickers, whatever it is, Vicers, Vickers. And you would see that on the headstock of these other guitars, but when it came to my guitar, this one, it just looked black. Like there was no logo ever put on there, it was just left that way, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe this has to do with customs, maybe it has to do with copyright, but what about these other guitars? And then I would see even more Les Paul copies with this, maybe the same shape, it was gold with black writing on it, and it didn't say Vicers, it said something else that, again, I couldn't distinguish because I need new contact lenses. And so I go back to the listing for this guitar, and it has all the specifications, and under brand, it says Vicers. This guitar doesn't have a logo on it. All the others have something on the headstock. Some of them say Vicers, some of them don't, but this one doesn't. And, you know, the talk of the town in this community is Chibson guitars, right? So there's no country of origin listed anywhere. It's supposed to, I think it said it was going to be shipped out of the United States, I think. I'm not sure. And I just rolled with it because, like I said, the buyer's remorse got a hold of me. I knew I was going to regret it afterwards if I didn't go ahead and grab one of these. And let me tell you something. By the next day, it was sold out. The next morning, my computer's in the next room over here. And the next morning, it was sold out. So I said, at least I got it. Okay, so the question is it a Chibson? Now, more information, all right? I've been looking into these Ace Frehley Les Pauls, right? Because I used to have one. I had an Epiphone. Back in the 90s, I had money at the time, and I bought an Epiphone Ace Frehley Les Paul, and kicking myself because I sold it, and I've been kicking myself for 30 years now, 25, 30 years, however long it's been, because I sold this guitar. And then I started looking around on the internet, and I saw that you could get Chinese copies of this guitar, and sure enough, I found one, and it's just blurred out on the headstock. It looks like it would say Gibson, and it's just blurred out. When it came to this guitar, after I bought it, I went back to the listing, because you can go back to the listing and look at the pictures, even though it says it's sold out. And I did a screen capture because it wasn't letting me save as when you have a picture and it says save as on a right click on the mouse. It wasn't letting me do that. So I did a screen capture and then cropped around the image. And then in the photo gallery on my laptop, you can spin the wheel and it's like a zoom. And when I zoomed in, then I saw on the headstock that it had been blacked out, right? And so I realized something was being hidden regarding the headstock. So fast forward again, I'm looking at Ace Frehley guitars, and I'm watching this one guy do an unboxing on an Ace Frehley Les Paul, and sure enough, he's got visors. This is the guy who called it Vickers, right? He's got visors across the top, and right in front of me, he said, hey, that looks like a sticker. And he was able to just peel it right off, and sure enough, there's the Gibson logo underneath. So that's what I think is going on here. I believe this is a Chibson Les Paul that doesn't look exactly like the Electra Omega, and that's what we're going to find out. And before I forget, let me just tell you, on the day this guitar arrived, 2 days ago, this is September 14th today. This is September 14th, 2024. This guitar arrived 2 days ago, and then I realized I was going to go ahead and do an unboxing video. And I go to the internet, and I'm looking up Electra Omega, and then I inadvertently found an ad for a guitar on eBay. As far as the veneer on it, it looks a lot more like the original Electra Omega. I would have bought that guitar, I suppose, instead of this one, but that one just has the humbuckers with the steel plate over it, and this one is supposed to have zebras. So that's it. We want to find out if this is a Chibson or not. So a drink, this new guitar day, my friends. Yay! Yay! New guitar day. So, with no further delay, it has here on the return address, Industry City, California. And that's it. Let's find out where we're at with this. Okay. Just gonna, it's a buck knife. Just gonna slip through these 4 places. Let's see we got here? Okay. The famous styrofoam. And this comes off. And yes, it has zebras. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And let's see if I can get a hold of this now. Right, the traditional Allen wrench and guitar cable. I'll put that right here for now. And here we go. Let's undo this. And take a look at what we've got. Made in USA. What's it say there? Visors. Okay, I'll show that to you in just a moment. Very shiny, very clean. It's looking real good, my friends. All right. Wow. That is really beautiful. I don't know if that can be seen on camera, but that is just extraordinarily beautiful. The inlays look like mother of pearl. They have color to them. They're not just a wavy white. These have color. I don't know if you can see this or not. In fact, let me just put this down here like this. And I'll pick up the camera and show you what we have here. Whoops. Okay. That's what happens when you are live. Here we go. Visors, see that? Les Paul standard. Check out these inlays. See that? Aren't they beautiful? And I'm looking at them and they look all filled in. You know, some people talk about lines around them and so forth. Beautiful zebra pickups. Look at that finish. Look at how nice that is. Very shiny. Very, very beautiful. Nice. Okay, my friends, okay. Part 2. We are live. Everybody, that's called technical difficulties, my friends. I don't know what happened. The phone fell out of the tripod and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I was showing you these inlays, and some people will tell you on a cheaper guitar that when you look around the outside, it's not filled in properly, or you can see where the manufacturer did fill it in. And I'm saying that I don't see anything like that on here. It looks very nice. Okay, that fret right there is a little sharp. Yeah, you can feel the frets, but overall, I mean, I don't think it's not a worry, you know. Anyway, let's take a look at this logo here and see what happens. I should be able to peel this right off. And yeah, there it is. See? Visors. Right there. If you can see it, it says, it's dark there, but you can see Gibson. So, what does that mean? What does that tell us? Yes! This is a Chibson. An actual Chibson. Chibsons are, by many accounts, a counterfeit guitar. But I'm going to counter that and say that this is a real fake guitar. It is a real Chibson. An actual, authentic Chibson. And let me tell you, man, it weighs maybe a little less than a Les Paul, action's low. It needs to be oiled. Fretboard clearly needs to be oiled. And I can't plug it in and play it for you because this is just, well, it's for my other broadcasts, this little space here. But my amp and everything else is in the other room, and that's just how this house is set up. So even in the other room, I wouldn't be able to broadcast. I wouldn't be able to play for you. And hey, I don't think I'm that great of a player anyway. I don't play for other people. I play for the joy of the instrument, the joy of the guitar, and quite frankly, because it's free therapy. That's what I call it, free therapy. So anyway, that's it. Such a beautiful instrument. This is nice and sturdy right here, and it's just beautiful. I mean, the depth of how the light is hitting this veneer, it's just stunningly beautiful. I'm really happy with it. And, you know, there are telltale signs that it's not an actual authentic Gibson. You can watch videos on that, but you know, like right here and here, if you can fit a flathead screwdriver in there, you know it's not a real Gibson, and that's what you can do here. So you know it's not a real Gibson. And blah, 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 blah. Hey, I didn't buy this to trick anybody. I'm not interested in trying to make people think I'm playing a Gibson. I don't play for other people. I just play for myself, for the joy, the love of it, the challenge, the journey, I want to say the creativity, but I'm not trying to flatter myself. I'm just saying if I can come up with something interesting, then that's rewarding. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I'm really, really happy with this. And I'm going to go oil up the fretboard and plug it in and see how it plays. And I'm psyched. I'm totally psyched. And upcoming video at the end of next month, I'm gonna do something that I think nobody else on YouTube has done, and that is I'm going to unbox both Ace Frehley guitars in the same video, the Cherry Sunburst and the Blue Glitter one. So I have the Cherry Sunburst that arrived today, and the blue one is on its way from China, and it's not due to arrive till the end of next month. I'm hoping to do that unboxing on Halloween. So we'll see when we get there. Anyway, my friends, thank you for watching. And if you have any thoughts about Chibsons or this guitar or anything else, just drop it in the comments. And God bless you. I just want to say God bless you. I wish you the best. Take care and see you later.